Welcome, Moon Magic Super Souls. Thank you so much for joining me today. In our readings today, we are asking a pretty important and very significant question, which is how is the Mars retrograde and Mercury retrograde energy going to affect you personally? This is a very powerful time. Mars has a very go-getting energy when it's in a space of reflection or in a space of retrograde. We have an opportunity for reflection. There's an opportunity to consolidate and work out a clarity of intent so that when Mars moves forwards again, we can actually be operating on the basis of a solid foundation with clear direction and intent. Mercury in retrograde actually tends to create hiccups, interruptions, diversions. Things often appear to go wrong, and yet within those interruptions there are very often signs, signals, synchronicities. So this is a very powerful combination for us. So in our readings today, this is what we are asking for: information as to how, detailed information as to how the Mars and the Mercury retrograde energy is affecting you personally. We're going to be drawing 3 cards and we are going to be asking for advice. The 3 cards are to help to guide you in, and we will also draw runes as well. There's our 3rd. Okay, let's have a look and see what we have. The first card is Blood Angel. The second card is Commitment. The 3rd card, 3rd reading, The Courage of Your Love. Okay, so those are our 3 cards. Let's draw some runes, and I think we'll draw charms as well. Okay, so reading 1, with Blood Angel, you have the rune of fertility, and we have also the charm of the owl. And for those of you who like to look at the numbers, this is card number 7. Reading number 2, we have Commitment, we have the rune of ice, we have the butterfly, and this is card number 31. Reading number 3, The Courage of Your Love, we have the rune of the spiritual warrior. We have the charm of this is not really an umbrella, it's a parasol. We have a parasol, and it's card number 38. Beautiful super souls, I'm going to leave you to guide yourselves in. Listen to your intuition. If you need to, sit as long as you need to. I'm going to let the video run for a while for you so that you can just tune in to whichever of the piles is speaking to you. You might find it's more than one. That very often is the case. One reading will speak to one area of your world and then another to another part of your life. So do check out any that are calling to you. I'll leave the video running for a little while yet, and you can just tune into the readings. I'll put the timestamps into the information box below and also in the comments as well for phone users to make that easy for you. Super souls, I'll see you in the readings in just a moment. Welcome, reading number 1. You have the card of Blood Angel, the owl, and the rune of fertility. Super Souls, this card is about giving you more life. It's about vitality. It's about freshness, newness of life, fertility. With the owl here, I feel that if there are any aspects of the Mercury retrograde disruptions or interruptions to the way in which you thought your program or your timetable was going to run, trust that they are opening a door that will bring you more life, more vitality, and something that you actually need for your heart and your soul, rather than possibly the stuff that your mind has already prescribed or is expecting. Now, I would also say more messages coming through here. The rune of fertility requires completion of beginnings. So if anything is needing to sort of, if you're needing to attend to the details of something in order to wrap it up, clean it up, then please do so. And if interruptions mean that you have time on your hands and you're twiddling your thumbs because you're not proceeding as you thought you would, but actually there are still some things hovering around you that, rather than ploughing ahead, the things hovering around you could actually be quite meticulously attended to. You could make good use of your time and cross some T's, dot some I's, then do so, because the tidying up of things again is going to free you to embrace a greater amount of life. This is a very specific card. Let's see what some of your other oracle cards are showing. We have the threshold. Look at the colours here coming through for you. So much vitality. We have solar flares, activate. Wow. I feel like I'm kind of like giggling and bursting from the inside out. We have psilocybin. This is magic mushrooms. These are the magic mushrooms. Commune. And we have which direction? You have reached a turning point in your life. Do not be afraid of taking the wrong path. When you recognize the learning to be found at every step and in every moment of your journey, you will realize there is no wrong way, only the infinite gain of your personal growth and evolution. Right, reading number 1. The Mercury and Mars retrograde energy is suggesting here in this reading that you are going to be given a magical moment of opportunity. What is interesting is you may find yourself standing at a crossroads or suddenly halted in your direction. But the purpose of this is, there may even be a delay, but the purpose of this is because you have reached a threshold, and it is now time for the universe to deliver to you greater vitality, greater purpose, greater excitement, greater love, greater passion. I'm actually going to place this card up here, I think, now. Let's draw some tarot cards for you. What else are we shown for reading 1? What are we shown for reading 1? May we have more details about the Mercury and Mars retrograde energy? Okay, we have 8 of Wands. This is really interesting because I always feel in this particular tarot pack, I always feel like this is a card that just for me, it's like a can of worms. So it's like, oh dear. But my goodness me, with purpose. Yes. 2 of Wands. Wow. Okay. Commune. The High Priestess. 2 of Cups and Queen of Cups. Oh yes. Right. I think during this Mars retrograde and Mercury retrograde energy, you may actually find that you feel actually a bit overloaded, almost as if there are a billion things to do and yet somehow not the time or the energy to attend to them. Focus on one thing at a time. Create a priority list. I think there are two specific directions. We have 2 of Wands and 2 of Cups. There are 2 specific areas in your life that ultimately are your personal priorities. And I think what is happening is that those personal priorities are often being overshadowed by the minutiae of life, the multitude of stuff, the loadedness of this needs doing, that needs doing, or I could just do this, or I could just do that, running from one thing to another, but not really achieving a focus. I think the energy of the Mars retrograde is very empowering for you. Actually, reading number 1, it's coming here to activate your attention, and the Mercury retrograde energy may well stop you in your tracks. You may suddenly feel completely overwhelmed and almost debilitated by the number of things going on and the number of choices and the number of options and what should I do and will I ever get any of it done, and sort of that kind of a space. Slow down, chill out. And if there is an interruption, which I believe you may experience more than one during this period, if there is an interruption, it's coming with purpose to slow you down, to stop you in your tracks, to get you to put down a ton of stuff that quite honestly isn't that important, and focus on the 2 areas of your life that you know you really want to bring forth. I think your mind can get a bit scattered, and because on the one hand I think you're pretty goal focused, which is an interesting paradox really, because in many ways I think you're quite successful at manifesting stuff. I think you're quite good at creating things, even in managing different directions, in juggling different multitasking different things. But in doing that, and I think you're very creative actually. I think you have an extraordinarily creative mind. But I think what tends to happen is sometimes you have so many things running at once that you're not able to give fully to any of them. And this reading is very clear. It's suggesting that some stuff may stop you in your tracks unexpectedly and cause you to need to evaluate. This is to sharpen your focus. It's almost saying, I think you're reading, less is more. So rather than trying to navigate 6 different things at once, bring it down to 2 and focus on those and do them outstandingly, amazingly well. It's like having, I don't know, 20 clients, and then suddenly some of them start to leave and you start to panic. But actually what really needs to happen is a few of them need a greater amount of your time, so your focus and your connection to the work is strengthened. This is quality, not quantity, and that's part of the evaluation. And the magic of this, solar flares activate. In this card is ruled by Pluto and the Sun, the creativity of the Sun, solar flares. Pluto, rebirth. The purpose of any upheaval or interruption here, or indeed of things coming to an end, completion of things, isn't so that you do without. It's actually to increase your productivity, but in a more focused way. Those are the circumstances. So if you find yourself standing at a bit of a threshold and think, gosh, well, that client is leaving, or that piece of work is coming to an end unexpectedly, or there's been an interruption and I couldn't do what I expected to do that day, the purpose of it is for you to get organized and bring your focus And I am seeing the two most important priorities, even if you end up with a significant list of possibilities. During this period, you're going to come out with two very productive, heightened, focused areas of manifestation. And we're seeing absolute success here. The Queen of Cups, taking an ownership of the end goal, having the stuff you really want. Having what you love, doing what you love, rather than trying to do 6 things. It's trying to do the 2 things that you love and would like to do the most, and not worrying about the other 4. Someone else can do them. Your reading is very clear. There's real purpose to this energy for you. I think you will find that there are interruptions. You may even literally feel you're having to look at exactly what direction you plan to be heading in. It may not be the way you thought you were going, but there is magic afoot here. A new threshold is being created that will give you more vitality, more life, more energy, more fertility, more productivity. What you are needing to do is to stop and stand still long enough to see what your priorities are. And I'm seeing 2 areas of your life. Let us ask for a bit more information, please, for reading number 1. Is your first? Yes, 10 of Wands. So we have the 10 of Wands, we have the Queen of Cups again. Look at this. We have the World, and we have the 2 of Wands again. Wow, your whole reading is contained within 2 of Wands. The burden, the too many things, the 10 of Wands that you are currently carrying, the carrying too much weight, carrying too much of a heavy load, is surrounded by the Queen of Cups. Gifts abundant, feeling joyous, doing what you love, the 2 things that you love. The energy of new beginnings. Look at this card here. He holds the world in his hands. The key to your success, and the World card, she holds the world. The key to your success, reading number 1, in the long term, isn't trying to do too many things. If you're a bit of a jack of all trades, or you're working on several projects simultaneously, the key to your success and your abundance in the future, to doing what you love, isn't to be working on 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different projects at a time, or having 10 or 20 clients, or whatever it is. It's actually to bring your focus. I'm seeing 2 areas very specifically. Bring your focus into those areas. Give them your fullest consideration. Don't try to expand any more in any other directions. Keep the 2 directions that are prioritizing. You can write down those ideas for the future. But right now, there are 2 key areas to focus on that will be of equal benefit and actually will support one another. Put down the burden of too many things, too many ideas, even if you're only filing them or shelving them. File them, put them on a cloud somewhere, whatever you need to do. Bring your focus to less is more. Events that happen during the Mars retrograde and the Mercury retrograde combination, events that come, are actually creating a magical point of activation, a threshold where you can move forwards to genuine success, because your energy is no longer divided between too many projects. It is focused on 2 specific priority areas, priority projects, priority aspects of your world. Focus on those and those only, and we are seeing success. As soon as the Mercury retrograde energy and the Mars retrograde energy start to shift and move forwards, I think you are literally going to fly. Reading number 1, this is very clear. This is your reading. I'm loving it. Just loving it. It couldn't be clearer for you. I am sending you all the love in the world. Keep us posted here on the Moon Magic Tarot channel. Thank you guys so much for all your comments, your shares, not just your support of me in the comments. You guys are awesome and I'm so grateful, but actually your support of one another. It's awesome the way you share your stories, you back each other up. I read these comments. I can't reply to you all, but truly you guys are absolutely amazing. So thank you. And thank you for subscribing and being a part of our Moon Magic Tarot channel, this community. It really does help to support the channel, and thank you also for liking, sharing, and of course for those of you who give back as an extra through the super thanks in the comments. You really are all appreciated so much. Reading number 1, I will put a ton of extra links into the information box below for all the stuff that I do, the extra stuff, my Patreon community as well, where I do all signs readings now and tutorials every month too. Super souls, I'm loving your reading. Wow, absolutely awesome. Tons of love. This is such a magical outcome for energy that can sometimes feel so frustrating and so disruptive. I mean, this is just gorgeous. Tons of love. Welcome, reading number 2. You have the card of commitment, you have the rune of ice, and you have a butterfly of transformation. What this card is already saying is that something you desire is actually happening anyway. You don't need to do battle to make it happen. Simply be present to your real everyday experience and responsive to your real everyday experience, in trust that the very thing you desire is emerging and coming to you. The ice rune speaks of sometimes having some fear-based stuff going on, and the commitment card is saying you don't have to battle to make something happen. It's going to happen anyway. And this is your higher purpose. This is your calling. There is something you desire that is absolutely purpose built for you. That is what this card speaks of. A connection, a commitment, the perfect fit. And yet the fear that it may not happen is causing your actions to try and make it happen, or you're working around some form of insecurity or some fear, something along those lines. And actually this is coming, it's happening. This card asks you to sit in trust. Now we're asking today about the Mars, we have the shaman, we're asking about the Mars retrograde and the Mercury in retrograde energy. We have the card of the shaman, the snake of transformation. The hand coming here. The transformation is coming. It's coming anyway. That is clear. South node, past. We have passion flower, surrender. And we have take a risk. Excuse my giggle. Your reading is becoming clearer. Step out of your comfort zone. Feeling safe and secure is a wonderful experience, but if we remain in our safe zone for fear of change, we create a limiting and restrictive environment that can ultimately lead to stagnation and the loss of our creative potential to manifest our greatest contribution in the world. Let go of fear and take a risk. Surrender in trust. There is opportunity around you, and some aspect of fear or insecurity is blocking you from receiving it, literally. I was saying a moment ago about not doing battle, trusting that the way is being shown. I feel as though it's like an energy of stagnation, stuckness. There's something around you whereby I think part of the challenge here is that actually culturally we are brought up to sort of believe that we should always, I mean even in manifestation, that we should decide on our end goal, set our intentions and work solidly towards it in a linear fashion. And real life isn't like that. Neptune and the moon, real life is about being responsive, emotionally responsive to the tides of life, the ebb and flow of life, knowing when to move forwards, knowing when to ease back, knowing that you will naturally be shown and given those signs. I feel there's a lot of past conditioning around you in terms of how you're supposed to get from A to B, how you are supposed to achieve your goals. and it's true, sometimes it's really valid to work out what our goals are. In some of the readings, we're really clear, we're asking for advice and guidance, and sometimes it's like, yeah, do a vision board, you know, get really focused, hold your focus. But in your reading today, and I think this really tunes in so beautifully with Mars in retrograde, Mercury in retrograde, the energy right now is about learning to receive and be responsive to the signs that are shown to you, so that I would say right now the pathway for you isn't A to B, it's a windy road. But it feels like it's a little bit unknown. You're having to step onto a pathway that is not the route that you were expecting to take. And that is very typical of the retrograde energy at this moment. And yet, you are receiving validation that transformation is occurring. Let's draw some more cards and see what we are shown for reading number 2. I'm very curious about your reading. May we have more information about how the Mercury and Mars retrograde energy is affecting reading number 2 and what they need to be aware of, any advice and guidance. We have, okay, we have the World. Okay. We have, oh my goodness me, we have the World, we have the Ace of Pentacles. We have the 9 of Pentacles, and we have the Ace of Wands, 2 aces. Gosh, the message here almost feels paradoxical, so I'm going to have to really thoughtfully voice how this is, because I feel like on the one hand I'm going to say to you, this is not a time to plough forwards. And yet I'm also going to say to you, this is absolutely the time to step out and take a risk. Now, doesn't that feel like a paradox or a conflict? But it's not a conflict, because the key here is that you're prepared to step into the unknown. It's not about walking the familiar pathway. It's doing things that you haven't done before. Trying things out that you haven't done before, being prepared to trust and surrender that taking a different route is completely okay. Trying something on that's new is completely okay. Just sit in trust. If something pops up in your inbox, or there's an invitation, or a friend phones you up, or and it's like, do you fancy doing this? This is a real opportunity to say yes. And even if in turn, en route, there is a disruption and you end up doing something else, then trust. You're being guided, you're being shown, you're being upgraded. Your very sense of self-esteem, self-worth, self-worthiness, entitlement is being upgraded, uplifted. There's a letting go of past, what's the word I'm looking for? Past conditioning in this reading. Because that past conditioning is limiting your horizons, and that includes the way that you approach things. It's time to step out of your comfort zone. Step up. Trust. Trust is the biggie. There's transformational stuff going on around you. Purpose to this. May we see what else we are shown here, please. May we have more information for reading number 2. Too many cards coming through. That one though. Oh, this is interesting. Look, this card remains here. I'm going to place this over here and we'll turn it over in a moment. Okay. 10 of Wands. This came out in reading 1, actually. Very interesting. 10 of Wands. But I'm really seeing you trudging. You're trying to make the dream come true. Okay? Yeah, you're trying to make the dream come true. And actually, you don't have to do battle with this. Okay, the dream is going to come true anyway. You're being upgraded. It's really clear. Magic is afoot. You're being upgraded. You don't have to make this happen. Even if you were brought up in a world where you were told kind of nothing comes to anyone unless they work for it. And I'm not saying we don't have to work for it, because I think in many times we do. We have to also take action. But there's a difference between working and forcing. There's a difference between working with and trying to make everything happen. You're trying to make a dream come true. Step out of your comfort zone, because forcing is not working. It's causing you more pain and aggravation. Now, you are going to need to take action. It's what we've just said. It's what we've been saying. You do need to take action, that's for sure. But the action is not a controlled, directed path. It's about taking a risk and not taking the route that you thought you were going to take. I think the end goal, the desire, the thing you want the most is absolutely, completely and utterly going to happen. Okay, there's magic afoot here. But it's not going to happen through you prescribing how to make it happen, because it's almost as if the more you try to make it happen, the more stuck it becomes, the more hindered your energy is, and the more hindered it becomes, the more you believe it won't happen. You do need to take action, but this is about taking actions and moving things forward with clarity in a much more joyous way. Riding the waves, you know, being more balanced about it. Just enjoying the journey, being chilled about it, riding the waves, trusting that the ship will come in. In fact, the ships are going to come in. However you look at it, the ships are coming in. But the way to get the ships to come in is to be balanced, to be chilled, to enjoy, not to force. What is this card? Justice. Haha, you reap what you sow. Yes. This is a very important card here, showing up for us, reading number 2. You can't make it happen. It's really important to allow it to happen. And choosing to let go, choosing to very consciously, very clearly let go of those past, I think, messages that you were given about how you have to do it, and this is the way it has to be, and this is the prescribed format. The the structure. You can paint a picture, but you only have these colours to work with. Well, actually, there's a ton of colours, and you can go out and mix them. And you don't have to be tidy and use paintbrushes. You can use your fingers and get in there and just see what happens. It's got that feel to it. It's like breaking free, stepping into the unknown, and just trusting that this is going to happen. I am loving your reading number 2. I am truly, truly loving your reading. And it is so in alignment with Mars retrograde and Mercury retrograde, because Mercury in retrograde can really, really shake us up a lot and cause a lot of disruption and interruption. And what can happen is it pushes those self-doubts to the surface. And actually, we can just try harder and harder and harder and push through and through and through. Alternatively, we could say, do you know what? This isn't working today. I'm just going to go for a walk, or I'm going to phone a mate and go out and do something instead. And I'll come back to this afresh. And then while you're out, you bump into someone who says, oh, I know someone who does that, who can help you with that. And suddenly it all falls into place. What you just had to do was to listen to the disruption, or listen to the fact that it wasn't happening. Trust it and work with it rather than trying to control it. That's the key. And with the Mars energy in retrograde, I mean, there's so much looking back potentially here in order to transform. I think with the Mars in retrograde, it's very interesting because it's asking you to take a different type of action rather than taking actions that are what you are used to, consistent, safe. That's the route I take, so that's always the route I'm going to take. This is about stepping out of your comfort zone, taking actions, but taking actions that are new and in trust. New directions, new opportunities. And I am seeing opportunities for transformation coming through. Look at this hand offering these little sprinklings, and we see the skulls here. This is rebirth. There's real opportunity here to emerge. The ships will come in, but they won't come in quickly. If you're trying to make them come in, let them come in of their own accord, because they may not arrive on exactly the tide that you thought they would, but they're still going to arrive. This is all about surrender and letting go. Riding the waves of the time, trusting, allowing. I'm going to do a little bit of energy shifting in your reading number 2. For anyone that is new to my readings, when it's appropriate, I do this in a reading. And for my Patreon community, which is a very different setup to YouTube, on my Patreon community, I do a tutorial every month. And this month we are doing a tutorial about working with crystals, including energy clearing and using crystals within readings for healing. So today we are in this reading going to be doing some energy shifting, because this is this rune of ice. It's feeling like there's this sort of, oh, this is how I'm supposed to do it, and this is what it's supposed to look like, and if this isn't right, then you know, sort of confusion, fear-based stuff around. Actually, this is going to flow beautifully. So we're going to shift the energy of this rune. Super souls, I would ask you to just get yourself centered and really sit and look at the reading and lean into the energy of it, and focus your mind on what it feels like. Focus your mind on anything that is troubling you in terms of feeling like you have to prescribe or know exactly in detail, exactly A to Z what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. Give yourself that focus and listen to what that actually feels like. I'm going to use, actually, excuse me while I lean across the reading, I'm going to use some pieces of Palo Santo. This is a beautiful wood, rather like white sage. Palo Santo, you can burn it, has the most heavenly smell, but it cleanses and releases. Palo Santo literally, in translation, it means holy wood. So we're going to use these pieces of Palo Santo along with a crystal, a master crystal. This is an amethyst point, and we're going to use this. Actually, we're going to use a couple of crystals. I'm seeing something else really leaping out and speaking to me. So we're going to also use a pendulum, because this is about direction, and we're going to use a gold aventurine pendulum too. So we're going to use these healing tools. So lean into the energy of this reading as you see it now. Now, what I'm going to do is harness the magic, which is the shaman card here. The gifts are being brought to you. Okay, the gifts for your direction. You don't need to know, they're going to be shown. Okay. What we want to do is bring in this beautiful, beautiful energy of the Palo Santo, keeping that safeguarded in, and no negativity can come into this transformation. We're going to bring this beautiful crystal point here into this card of commitment, and we're going to shift the rune to its different position. This is moving it from an upright stuck position to a position of flow. This is the ice melting, the healing taking place in terms of past perspectives and attitudes that have been holding you back. Freeing the way, keeping the way clean, clear, open and fluid for the way to be shown. Take a risk, dear pile number 2, and your ship will come in, or indeed your ship's action is needed, but also fluid action, flexibility, joy, love, free of fear, free of anxiety, sitting in trust. I know that can be easier said than done, but the energy here is now flowing and your transformation is protected. Beautiful, beautiful reading number 2. This is your reading. I am sending you all the love in the world. There are various things that I do that may be of interest to you, including my Patreon work with tutorials and also readings for all signs every moon month. I will put links to Patreon and all the other stuff that I do in the description box, along with the timestamps and the cards that I've used. And also I will put that all in the comments for phone users for easy access. There's a ton of stuff there that may be of value to you on your journey. Tons and tons and tons of love. And I think this has, gosh, it actually has quite a karmic feel to it, quite karmic proportions in terms of the shift that is possible for you during the Mars and Mercury retrograde period. Tons of love. Beautiful reading number 3. We are asking today for detailed information about the Mars and Mercury retrograde energy. Now, this is a very interesting combination, the courage of your love. This is a card that is inviting empowerment for you to step up, even in the face of a hurdle or an obstacle or somebody else's attitude. The rune of the spiritual warrior, discernment, saying how it is, don't be prepared to accept less than you are worth. This is loaded with self-esteem. And we have the parasol, which suggests shelter on a sunny day, being quite chilled. There's some very interesting energy around this reading already, reading number 3. Let's draw more cards and see what we're shown. How is the retrograde energy affecting you? We have the tear. Okay. We have Sagittarius expand. We have Tulsi, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's card 19, Tulsi, wealth. We have a peacock, and this is Mercury and Jupiter. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. You know, even though Mercury is in retrograde, even though there may be some hiccups, delays, as we know, do not let these stop you from expanding. Courage, Have courage. Step up, not down. This is a very interesting reading given the Mars and Mercury energy. It's almost as if the Mars and Mercury energy are bringing your insight and awareness to the fore so that you can act with diligence and integrity. Shining a spotlight on something so that you can get very clear about how you intend to proceed, what you will accept and what you will not accept. What else do we have here? You've done nothing wrong. Absolutely awesome validation. Whatever has taken place was out of your control and out of your hands. This card asks you to let go of any feelings of guilt or personal blame. This was not your fault. You've done nothing wrong. I feel that some of you are coming through and out the other side of a situation where what's happening is that the Mercury energy and the Mars energy particularly, and now almost compounded by the Mercury energy through communications, is showing you, I almost want to say, how badly some people have behaved. The courage of your love is about being the lion or the lioness, not settling for less, having the courage of your convictions, knowing that you must see something through, that you are right. You are right. Your wealth is your honesty and your integrity. And I think the retrograde energy is showing you with great clarity how certain people have been behaving, or what certain people have been saying. It's being highlighted. You're seeing people for who they are. That isn't necessarily easy because, you know, sometimes we grow suddenly, we expand, our consciousness rises, often through adversity, and as we grow and expand, we sort of realise that maybe we've expanded and grown more quickly than some of the people around us, and we begin to get a little fatigued with what they're doing and their attitudes and things like that. And it's not that they're tiresome as such, but they just don't resonate. There are things we're not prepared to sort of sweep under the carpet or let go anymore, or join in with anymore. That's okay. I think the retrograde energy for you is causing you to review and evaluate the people and the circumstances around you. Sagittarius has such an honest, expanding, truthful energy about it, about this sign. And look at the way the arrow is being cast back. It's like, do you know, I'm just not doing that anymore. This card is both casting the arrow back but moving forward simultaneously. You see things with great clarity now, and it's hurtful, it's sad that this is the case, but you can't fix people, you can't upgrade them. All you can do is act in a way that ultimately will be a light for others to follow. We lead by example. What you can also do, and this parasol tells us, what you can also do is take shade from the sun, take shade from the light, the brilliance of the light, because I sort of feel the spotlight is kind of shining on you a little bit as well. Not only are you seeing people for who they are, but by choosing not to buy into something, or choosing not to go along with something because you don't really resonate with it or agree with it, and you see it for what it is, the spotlight is also being shined on you. Take shelter from the light, as in the spotlight, and sit in the shade and just center yourself and chill. If the sort of, I won't say if the shit hits the fan, but if there's stuff going on, just step away from it, shelter yourself from it, shelter your energy. You don't have to be involved. You can make clear choices here. Let's draw some more cards to see, for reading number 3, what we are shown. Advice and guidance, please, about what's going on around them, please. I do feel one more from this pack. I think it's this one. Okay. So, 10 of Cups. I'm seeing the freedom and the liberation from something here. What else do we have? 10 of Cups, King of Pentacles, and look at this card of Strength, loving it. This is awesome. What did we say about having the courage, finding the lion, the lioness, to just know that you have the right, the entitlement, the strength to step up for what you believe in. It's an interesting energy with this particular King of Pentacles, because he looks a little bit pissed off, actually, a bit miffed. You're coming out of something intact and thriving in spite of it. And someone who I think has been a little bit greedy, a bit of a taker, is realizing that they no longer have power over you. And that's partly what this is about, the spotlight. It's the realignment of energy. That's what's happening in the retrograde period. You're choosing not to buy into something. You're successful. Your energy is thriving. You know you've done nothing wrong, even if it's hard in the face of stuff that has been directed at you on occasion, I think. But they no longer have power over you. The King of Pentacles in an archetypal tarot pack, a traditional tarot pack, in Greek mythology, was governed by King Midas. And King Midas was granted a wish, and because he was a little bit greedy, really, he basically wished that everything he touched would turn to gold, and he was granted his wish, which meant that when he went to pick up food to eat it, it was turned to gold. When he when he touched someone he loved, they turned to gold. So interestingly enough, he kind of, ultimately, he had a big lesson to learn. And he had to go back and actually ask for other wishes to kind of undo some of the things that he had wished for. This is somebody who's kind of, they're used to having control, and they're kind of pissed off that you're now thriving. You are becoming untouchable by them. Whereas this person, I think, used to have power over you and used to dictate behind your back and stir things up. They don't have the same power anymore. You're able to thrive anyway. You're embracing the lioness. You're not being affected by them in the same way as you were. This is the transformation. Now, I'm not saying, I'm loving the colour of these cards coming out together. Look how earthy they are, how grounded the colours are. The Death card, the rebirth. The Page of Wands, staking your claim, setting out afresh, anew. Knowing, you have so much knowing. I also need to say to you, reading number 3, you are an old soul. I think you probably know that, but I think you are an old soul. In fact, that is reminding me I must do some starseed readings. I haven't done one for a little while, and we are now in the new year. So note to self: starseed readings for this year, really, perhaps. You are an old soul, and you are transforming your ability to hold hope, to remain intact, to have your own inner wealth, untouchable by the words and the behaviours of others who have genuinely been pretty miffed at watching you thrive and survive and literally thrive, despite their attempts to sort of maybe behave not terribly well behind your back and point a finger at you and a spotlight in a negative way. You've withstood that because of your integrity. Step away from this. You don't need to worry about it. Take shelter and just relax. Keep your energy clean. You know you've done nothing wrong. You really do know this. This is looking very, very favourable. There's an earthy, grounded strength, a transformation that is coming into reality. It's that point, that turning point, when the work you've been doing, which at times has been quite a struggle for you, suddenly becomes consolidated and you really aren't affected by it in the same way that you used to be. Okay, it's quite new to you to hold your own in this way, but it's really becoming consolidated on a foundation of strength. And this is interesting because the Mars retrograde energy invites us to consolidate our learning, so that we are then solid and strong on a clear, good foundation when we then move forwards in the world. And we are seeing a lot of celebration coming to you here. 10 of Cups, success, looking ahead, transformation, an upgrade. What else may we be shown, please, for reading number 3 about this situation and about the Mars, the impact, perhaps even the longer term impact, the outcome of the shift occurring through the Mars and Mercury retrograde energy. I'm also hearing, and I need to voice this, through the retrograde energy, that the actions, words of this person, the communications, are being brought to light. People are seeing them for who they are. They are being stopped in their tracks and held to account in some way, shape or form. Ooh. Okay, that's a lot of cards. I'm going to go with them. Let's do that. Let's just listen to what we have here. These 3 came out in an upright position. I'll put them to one side and we'll come back to them in just a moment. Let's look at these first. We have the Hierophant. We have the 2 of Swords. We have the 4 of Wands. And we have the 7 of Pentacles. Okay, let's have a look at these cards too. We have the 8 of Pentacles. That's interesting. We have 7 and 8 and 9. Now that's very, very curious because I shuffle these cards. I've been using them a lot. So to get that line up is fascinating, particularly when they fly out of the pack. And we have the 2 of Pentacles as well. Okay, in fact, actually, I'm going to sit you just... I'm not sure where to position this card. Here. Right. Okay, that's where we need to be. The conflict that's connected to where you've come from is coming to an end. And in fact, we are seeing celebration, we're seeing love, we're seeing connection, we're seeing support for you. I said I thought that actually this person's actions or these people's actions were being brought to light, being seen. I think you are going to be celebrated, really, really celebrated. And it opens up so much opportunity for you. It's like it leads to a pathway. Something is opened up, seen, highlighted, shown. The Mercury retrograde energy is going to stop somebody else or other people behaving not so well in their tracks. And in that process, the conflict around you comes to an end. You're freed from it. And there is celebration of you. You are seen for who you are in the really joyous way. You are seen as the person who did nothing wrong. It's lovely. There's a real proper, the truth will out here in a good way. And what we see is a progression here of incoming energy, incoming validation, incoming resources, support, wealth coming to you in a way that really honours you and your part to play in things. And I always feel with the 9 of Pentacles, it's like you have the recognition for your achievements, and rightly so. It's like the way that you have been investing in navigating circumstances that were out of your control are brought to light. And it's kind of like you're really seen. You're really seen as somebody who has really, the whole situation, I think, is seen for what it is. And there's this person here, or people, that connection to people that you are needing to draw a line with. Yeah, they're a bit disgruntled, but that's cool. Things are coming back into balance now. Whereas I think the energy in some way, shape or form had affected you quite badly to the point where you felt it was stopping you from being able to move forwards, there is a shift. And just as the retrograde energy and with both Mars and Mercury has perhaps caused you to slow down and consolidate and really evaluate where you are, who you're going to engage with, whether you're going to handle some people or even not engage with them in whatever way, shape or form that is, however sad that is, your decision making and your processing has been taking place successfully. Simultaneously, the actions and more challenging behavior of some other people is also being stopped in its tracks and brought to light with a real sense of purpose to it. The conflict around you ends and you are celebrated. So the retrograde energy for you guys is incredibly powerful and purposeful. Now, Mars and Mercury don't station direct until a little bit later on in January. I'm doing this reading. It's actually, even having trouble remembering the actual date of today. I think it's Wednesday the 4th of January that I'm doing this reading. And I will try and get it uploaded today for you. If not, it will be tomorrow. But the point is, this is what's taking place over the next couple of weeks. You will be validated. You will come out on top. You will come out shining. And whatever was directed at you inappropriately, I think will be seen and shown. And you are now free to expand, kind of free of the energy of somebody who I just feel they were greedy, clingy, greedy, not so great, whatever that was. So take your time, the energy of the parasol, take your time, allow yourself to see very clearly what you are shown. Trust that just as you are being shown things, the world is being shown things and people are being exposed. And within that exposure, you will be coming out on top. Loving your reading. Really loving it. And I don't mean it in a vindictive way. I mean in an honourable way. Beautiful reading number 3, people. This feels right, appropriate. It really, really does. And I'm sorry you've been through quite a lot, I think. But you are coming through and out the other side in a way that is really vindicated is the word. I am sending you all the love in the world. Thank you for joining me for these readings. I hope as well that the insights coming through are helpful to understand that the nature of retrograde planets isn't necessarily negative. We often perceive in our Western perspective, from our Western perspective, we have a very goal-orientated, people in charge viewpoint and lens of the world. When we really understand the retrograde energy as actually helping us to bring balance into our world, to slow down, to see what we need to see, to consolidate, to prepare, to evaluate, to hold to account, we begin to understand that the retrograde energy is really here to serve us. And it's I hope that these readings are a contribution in showing how that actually works, and the guidance coming through in them is valuable to all who find them. Thank you for joining me, reading number 3, sending you the blessings, the best blessings in the world. Take your time, take it easy. There's a few weeks for this to be processed and navigated. Hold your strength. The rebirth is coming. Keep your eyes on where you want to go. Your energy is remaining intact and you will come out of this on top. Absolutely, it is really, really clear. Tons and tons of love, super souls. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. I do post readings, usually one in the middle of the week, more at the weekends, always on a Sunday, and all sorts of other stuff, plus my Patreon work as well, which is a very different setup where I do readings for all signs and a tutorial every month. I will put links to anything and everything that I do. I have a subscriber email list as well. I have a prize draw where we draw a name out of the hat. A colleague does that every month. I give away a free private reading and a pack of these cards as well. So that's a subscriber offer. It's my subscriber email list. Do check out the links. Follow through with anything that you think might be of value to you. Tons and tons and tons of love, and I look forward to seeing you in my next readings.